Today's Parsha starts off with an admonition to the Jewish people that we have to keep Shabbat. Very strange. We're in the middle of building the tabernacle. The purpose of the tabernacle is to bring God's presence to the world. And God takes time out that we have to build, that we have to keep Shabbat. Even adds that we're not allowed to light fires on Shabbat. The question is, what's going on here? And the answer, besides the obvious, that Shabbat supersedes the building of the tabernacle. Shabbat is the most important day of the week. And we have to regard it as such. As I've mentioned before, in the Hebrew language, we don't have names of the days of the week. Sunday is the first day, then it's the second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. Only Shabbat has a name. And that we always look at the week as building up towards Shabbat. But just saying that Shabbat is more important is missing a major point. Shabbat is also bringing God's presence to the world. When we keep Shabbat, then we are helping to bring God's presence to the world. We're making a statement that this is what's important to us. And why is it important? Because God told us it's important. We have no rational reason. In fact, the ancient Greeks and Romans thought the Jews were lazy because we took Shabbat off. And not only do we take Shabbat off, also our servants get the day off. In other words, the importance of Shabbat goes to the entire community. And this is how we bring God's presence to the world. A very well-known story. In Washington Heights, there was a fellow who wanted to open a bakery. And it would be kosher, except he was open on Shabbat. So he was told by the local rabbis, we cannot give you a kosher certification if you're open on Shabbat. He says, I don't care. I'll make my money. I'll be open 7 days a week. Well, to make a long story short, he wasn't doing too well because the Jewish community was not shopping by him. So he decided he'd do an experiment and he would close on Shabbat. And he got the kosher certification for this, and suddenly he began to make a lot more money. And he said, I was an idiot. I was working myself ragged for 7 days a week and not making any money. Now I have a day off and I'm making more money than I did then. And the place is still kosher, has kosher certification to this day. Rashi mentions in the tractate Beitzah that if it wasn't for Shabbat, he would have gone crazy because he would have worked 7 days a week. So this is what's important about Shabbat. It's taking a day off, being with your family, your friends, your community, and just enjoying their presence. Enjoying the fact that God wants us to have a day off for these important things. Something to think about.